Hi Stamp friends, this is Susan with Stamp Creatively, and I did 5 cards with the Gilded Autumn Designer Series paper, the wrapped in texture embossing folder, the brushed metallic, and the gold cards and envelopes, and then the autumn greetings bundle. So I have 5 cards. I used the framelits that went with it. This is the postage stamp punch. Here's a pumpkin shaker card with that beautiful paper that's great detailed. It's so pretty. And then I used some of the autumn punches with the designer series paper. There's a set of acorn and 2 leaves. There's another, the pretty brushed metallic papers are so nice. And then this is the card I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, first of all, the background is done using the wrapped in texture and the pretty brass. And I just ran it through the impression folder. So that's the background. And then I will show you how I colored it. Okay, so I stamped it in Memento ink. And then I embossed it in clear embossing powder. I ran it through the folder. I should do that on a clean piece of paper. I ran it through the die and cut it out. We'll do it on a clean piece of paper. I have a tendency to scribble on my pieces of paper, so you have to use the large block to get the image stamped well. So I used the large block. And now I'm going to show you how I colored it. I have 2, 4, 6, 7 colors of ink. I have them all open like this. I put a little refill in the lid. I'm going to use one of our new water painters, and I'm going to color this pretty. I'm going to zoom in a little more so you can see it now that you have seen how I'm coloring it. So now you can kind of see it a little bit better. Okay, so what I did, I'll turn it around this way so you can even see it, because it doesn't matter which way I color it. I'm going to start, I kind of do it from light to dark normally when I color. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make sure the water's coming out. I'm going to do some mint, because this looks like little eucalyptus to me. And I just put a little bit from the lid. I want this to kind of be light. So I don't even go back and re-ink a bunch, because it just, I've got enough color on there. And again, I wanted the eucalyptus leaves to be kind of light. There's some over here on this side. So far I've done 3. Now I'm going to get a little bit more. And then there's one more tucked in here. So I don't re-ink a bunch when I'm doing this, because I wanted it to be a little bit lighter on here. Okay, so now what I'm doing off camera that you can't see is I have my chamois here, and I'm just kind of brushing it off. It's a well-used chamois, as you can tell. I do wash it out occasionally. And now I'm going to show you what I did with these, because I used the sage on those too. So, or sage, good grief, mint, macaroon. So I'm going to wet it, and you can tell where it's been embossed because it's going to kind of puddle. And then I'm going to go over it with the mint. And then I'm going to take some Highland Heather, kind of go around these edges, because these reminded me of those big ornamental cabbages that you see out this time in the fall. People will plant those where there used to be a plant. So I put some Highland Heather there on the edges, and I can add a little bit more if I want. Again, I wanted this to be wet so the color blended. Now I'm going to go back to my mint and do that again on this cabbage. It could be rose, it could be all kinds of things. It's just nice and big right there in the center. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one. If it's not wet enough, it won't run the way I like it to. Okay, there's my pretty ornamental cabbages. So that's how I did those. And now I just have some fun, like I used the crushed curry to kind of do my wheat. And I didn't spend a lot of time going into great details with my wheat. I'm going to darken the... So there's my wheat done. I'm going to use a little bit of that crushed curry here on these. I don't know what these are. Somebody may know. You can tell me what you think they are. And then I'm going to put, this is pumpkin. So I added a little bit of pumpkin to them. And then I wanted them even darker, so I used a little bit of the Cajun, like on the ends here and down there at the bottom. Because that looked a little more realistic to me. Why? I have no idea. Okay, so then I have my, these are chrysanthemums, and I could make those any color. On the one I showed you before, I used the Highland Heather. I think for this one, I want to use the curry. So we're going to make these dudes big yellow mums. I've got my pretty pumpkin here. I'm going to put a little bit of color on my pumpkin. Pumpkins have all kinds of colors on them. And for the top of that, I might just use, instead of going back in and getting out another, I'm just going to use a little bit of Stampin' Right marker right there. Okay, now I've got to do these. I'm going to use some Old Olive for this in here. This. And then I'm going to start on my leaves. Now on my leaves, I can make them as many colors as I want because it's a fall leaf. So I can start off and I can put some pear up here at the end. I can add a little pumpkin. It's a fall leaf. You can do whatever you want. I can put a little Cajun in there. Darken it up. And then I can come over here and do one that's, let's do some, we'll do the crushed curry, and then I'm going to come back with some pumpkin. And again, if it's a little bit wet, that color is going to run, and it's going to look like the leaves in my woods. You don't want to get it, you don't want to put too much color so that it gets muddy. You don't want a muddy leaf. So I'm going to put some green on this one. This is the pear. And I still had some other colors on there. So I took some of the other colors. I'm going to put a little bit of the pumpkin there in the middle. Then here's another leaf. I got one more fall leaf I get to do. I'm going to put some of this pear up here next to this. And then I want to add some of that crushed curry back at the end. Okay, here you go. There's your pretty, and that didn't take very long to do. You can see all the pretty colors in there. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit. It looks a little blurry. And I'll put a picture down there. It just doesn't do justice. It's so fine. These details in here are so fine. It's so black. Like you can really see the details of the leaves when I look at it, but it doesn't seem to be picking it up on the camera. So I'll try to take a good picture of it and post it. All right. Thank you. Have a good afternoon and again, or a good day, whatever time you're watching. And again, here's the card. All done. And I'll get some good pictures so you can see the detail in the middle of that. Thanks. Bye.